highest of 2024.
Now, the news with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us here on this Friday morning. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And we matched today. Look at this.
Yeah, this was not planned. I think we got everything done to the shirt, the tie, the blue suit.
Yeah,
so
good for us.
Yeah, matching Friday, that's for sure. This morning, if you are heading out early, you could even see what's left of the northern lights last night. Let's take a look at some of those photos sent in to us. These were breathtaking shots.
Wow, look at that.
And on top of that, this was actually, I'm not sure where this was taken. It looked to be in some other spots here in central New York. But I want to take a minute to show how this looks in different, I would say, settings. So this is the Northern Lights in Constableville with the camera exposure turned up. You don't really see this with the naked eye. You usually see something like this, which is a faint green glow. Now, yesterday, the Northern Lights display was so strong, at least last night, that you could actually see some faint pinks. It wasn't bright, but you could see the night sky a slightly different hue, which is just absolutely breathtaking. So, again, depends on what you see it with, but your camera can take longer exposure, can really pick up those vibrant pinks and other different colors. Temperatures across the area in the 30s, not quite frosty here in the Mohawk Valley. These stubborn clouds have been really preventing a lot of that radiative cooling from taking place. But quiet in downtown Utica right now, dry on the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. Again, frost advisory still remaining in effect for this morning. And as we head into this afternoon, we'll see temperatures climb as high as the low 60s. So a great end to the work week. We'll look at the Friday night football forecast, plus what you can expect heading into the weekend straight ahead. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Continuing coverage now of an animal.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Welcome back. Happy Friday, everyone. The time now is 5:11. We're getting you set to head out the door this morning on the Munson CommuteCast. And as you take a look out in Old Forge early today, it's a chilly one. Temperatures are in the 30s with some patchy frost in the highest elevations at this point. We'll see how far in the lower elevations it goes as these skies gradually clear. 39 in downtown Utica. In Cooperstown, 36 degrees with no fog reported, and overall relatively quiet and clear skies. Down in Oneonta, temperature sitting at 41 degrees. No incidents to report of on the traffic tracker early today, but again, this morning, watch out for some areas of patchy fog and frost. The locations, at least across central New York, aren't entirely fog-free. But as we head throughout the day today, starting out this morning, we'll warm up from the 30s and 40s up into the 60s by this afternoon with more sunshine than not. Quite a contrast compared to yesterday's weather. Now, this will likely extend into the start of the weekend, but potentially the second half of the weekend will be not too sunny. We'll talk about, of course, the trends with the weekend forecast. We'll share, of course, our photo of the day coming up in a few minutes, as well as what we can expect heading into next week and for Columbus Day or Indigenous Peoples Day, how you would expect with weather for that. Gary?
Eric, thank you. Robert F. Kennedy's widow, Ethel Kennedy, has died at the age...
Spoil your day. Tune in for the Storm Tracker 2 CommuteCast, brought to you by Munson. Visit Munson today and ignite curiosity and creativity. Visiting Munson and the Storm Tracker 2 CommuteCast, both free and both Utica's very own. Remember, all roads lead to Munson.
We are Central New York Brain and Spine Neurosurgery, where Dr. Q cares about you.
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone. Friday is here. The holiday weekend is just around the corner. I know some folks, especially some kids around the area, have today off, so a happy extended weekend. Live look at Oneonta right now. We are tracking quiet conditions, a dark, chilly start to the early morning. Temperatures sitting at 39 degrees at Griffiths and Rome. Some spots a little cooler, some spots still hanging on to the low 40s. So some locations could still wake up to some patchy frost early today, but these clouds have been very, very stubborn in preventing that temperature from free falling as quickly. Radar early this morning is completely dry. We are expecting this to continue throughout the entire day today. In fact, the next dozen hours call for sunshine and temperatures in the upper 50s to low 60s. So a pretty nice day today, barring the early to mid-morning passing clouds. Heading to Friday night high school football tonight, or in some locations that took place last night. We've got temperatures in the 50s with clear or mostly clear skies, so bundle up a little bit, but there's no rainfall expected, so you don't have to bring an umbrella or anything. But to the weekend forecast, comparing the 2 days, I would say if you have any outdoor plans, Saturday is your best bet. It's going to be 61 with some afternoon sunshine. Rain showers arrive by Sunday. It's going to be cloudy and rainy with temperatures as high as the low 50s. So indoor day mainly. I think a great day to watch some Sunday football games across the region or from the NFL. But overall, not too bad of a start of the weekend, that's for sure. Skycast showing a few stubborn clouds early this morning, finally burning off by this afternoon with temperatures climbing into the low 60s. By tonight, we'll see a few passing clouds. A very weak cold front moves through, but really all it's going to do is bring clouds, maybe a light sprinkle. Then we'll see temperatures climb up into the upper 50s to low 60s by Saturday afternoon. A little breezy as well. And then heading into Sunday, here comes some rain showers. Early in the morning, maybe a quick lull by 6 to 8 a.m., but then more rain showers arrive by the afternoon and into the evening. So heading into the weekend, Sunday, Monday, rather cool and rather unsettled with rain showers. Still remaining cool heading into Tuesday and Wednesday of next week with high temperatures only in the upper 40s, low 50s. Overnight lows still in the 30s. And those rain showers arriving Sunday and into Monday. The highest elevations potentially could see a few snowflakes. So we'll keep a close eye on that with those cooler temperatures way up in the atmosphere. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Yesterday was World Mental
2024.
Now, the news with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for this half hour. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And boy, those folks down in Florida still dealing with the aftermath, and us, just a little bit of rain here and there, not too bad.
Yeah, that's one thing that we've been thankful for. It hasn't been too active of a fall so far. And the only thing that was active yesterday was the Northern Lights display. A solar storm arrived over our area. And here's a look at some of those photos sent in by all of you across central New York. This was taken with long exposure where you could see the greens and even reds and pinks. Now, this is what it looks like through a camera. What it looks like to the naked eye is something a little bit different. Actually looking up in the sky, it might look something like this. It's very difficult to see in your screen if the brightness is lower. You can see a faint green glow in the distance and even some faint pinks. That's the one thing you could see last night. The pink colors were visible with the naked eye, but again, it's very muted. You need a camera with a long exposure to produce pictures like this. But anyways, to the temperatures this morning, we are in the 30s with clouds hit or miss across our region. And with that in mind, overall this morning, it's not quite frosty in downtown Utica, with temperatures in the upper 30s above that frost category. But the radar is dry right now. Frost advisory remains in effect for the remainder of this morning for pretty much all of central New York for areas that do see that cloud clearing. But by this afternoon, those temperatures go from the 30s up into the 60s by 4 to 6 p.m. So a great afternoon and evening is expected, potentially into Saturday as well. But will that continue through Sunday? We'll talk about that weekend forecast straight ahead. Gary?
Eric, thanks. As Floridians grapple with the cleanup and rebuilding from Milton, aid from across the country, including the federal government, is the cleanup and rebuilding from Milton. Aid from across the country, including the federal government, is moving in. Meanwhile, the presidential nominees are back on the campaign trail, each telling voters why they're the best to lead in crisis. NBC's Alice Barr is in Washington this morning with more.
as the devastation left by Hurricane Milton sinks in.
To obtain what you have, and then for it to just be gone in minutes, because that's all it took.
And emergency water rescues wind down.
It just started rising from ankle to knee to waist. I had 4 children there.
The long road to recovery is ramping up. Thousands of federal workers joining state and local officials.
Every available resource is being deployed as fast as possible to impacted communities, and we will not leave until the work is done.
The political fallout also growing as the nominees get back out on the campaign trail. Former President Trump in Michigan continuing to slam the Biden administration's response to the last wave of destruction from Hurricane Helene.
The federal government, on the other hand, has not done what you're supposed to be doing.
Vice President Harris pushing back.
I have spoken with state, local officials, both Republican and Democrat, to let them know we will be with you every step of the way as you recover and rebuild.
She spoke at a rally in Arizona where early voting is just beginning. As former President Obama began a battleground blitz for Harris in Pennsylvania, calling out misinformation about the federal storm response, elevated by former President Trump and allies. The candidates fighting to show they are the right leader in a moment of crisis as Election Day closes in. President Biden responded to mounting concerns about FEMA staffing levels, insisting the Federal Emergency Management Agency has enough resources and money for now, but pleading with Congress to act urgently to set aside more funding for small business disaster loans. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
A public meeting was held at Baslow Library in Herkimer.
Welcome back, everyone. We are taking a look at our final photo of the day for this week, and this one takes us to Waterville. This is a great photo of a sunrise, a foggy one, out in the distance, and this was picked over all the images we saw due to the fact that the silhouette of the silos in the foreground here kind of paint a picture of our upstate culture. With I'm being very I'm trying to bring in some artistic insight, I guess. You know, I'm not an artistic genius by any means, but I'm just trying to look at additional things in this photo, and I think this is amazing because I mean, it's harvest season for a lot of local farmers, and I think this is a great shot showcasing that beauty here in central New York. So amazing photo sent in by Kevin. If you would like to submit a photo like that one, send to the link wktv.com/weather/pics. We've had so many submissions, not only of that, but also the Northern Lights too. You can check out all of those photos on that link as well, not just submit them in case you think that you want to take a look at some more Northern Lights photos from all across central New York. Well, today, it starts out rather cool. Temperatures in the 30s. It's below freezing in Outer Lake, near freezing in Inlet, and we're still in the 30s for some parts of the southern valleys. Locations in the Mohawk Valley are still clinging on to the 40-degree temperatures, so we'll see how low we get before the sun officially rises. But we do climb as high as the low 60s by this afternoon. Gary?
Eric, thanks. The annual capstone project for a group of SUNY
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. We are starting out the day today with quiet conditions, rather chilly in some spots, and a few clouds passing by. Live look at Oneonta right now. It's a relatively quiet start. Clouds out in the distance. Temperatures sitting in the 30s, 39 officially at Griffiths and Rome. So no frost yet in the lowest elevation, especially in the Utica-Rome area, as those clouds overnight have prevented a lot of that radiative cooling from taking place. But again, it's dry in the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar, and today we're not expecting any drops of rain between sunrise and sunset. Matter of fact, next dozen hours call for more sunshine. Temperatures in the upper 50s to low 60s. So great outdoor weather today. If you have any plans, even for Friday Night Lights. Those are the local schools that are having Friday night football tonight. We've got temperatures in the 50s with clear or mostly clear skies. No chance for rain, so don't need to bring that umbrella, but maybe that light jacket, flannel, or sweater with those temperatures hovering in the low 50s. As we head into the weekend, well, Saturday looks to be the nicer of the 2 weekend days. Afternoon sunshine, temperatures in the low 60s. By Sunday, low pressure arrives from the west. This will bring cloudy skies and rain, and temperatures only peaking in the low 50s. So a little bit of a cool down, definitely indoor weather. I know we'll be watching a lot of football for Sunday, that's for sure. To our Skycast. Clouds early this morning slowly burn off. We'll see sunshine move in by this afternoon. Temperatures climbing as high as the upper 50s, low 60s. North Country a little cooler, 54 and 55 degrees in Old Forge and Speculator for highs. By tonight, we'll see lows fall down back into the 50s once more. Clouds increase, maybe a spotty light shower or sprinkle, but those chances are relatively low. Then we'll see breezy conditions, temperatures upper 50s, low 60s for your Saturday. Great outdoor weather, at least compared to Sunday, because we'll see some rain showers arrive during the early morning hours. Maybe a lull in the rain by the mid-morning before more scattered showers arrive by the afternoon. In between these showers, heading into Sunday night and into Columbus Day, there's potential for a few snowflakes to fall in the highest elevations as a cold pool moves over our area as we head into Monday, especially Monday night. So we'll keep a close eye on that. But again, today we've got temperatures in the 60s for the high. Same thing for Saturday. Then that cool down begins Sunday and into Monday. 48 the high. And then as we head into Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, it will still remain cool, cooler than average for this time of year, and then gradually drying out, but also slightly warm up as we approach the second half of the work week and into next weekend. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Now to a deadly mining incident in
News with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us here on this Friday morning. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And we broke out our Knicks outfits just in time for the season, right?
Oh, I guess I couldn't call myself a Knicks fan, but yeah, this was not planned at all. It's just out of the blue. You call it out. We're in the same exact colors this morning. So happy Friday. This is a great start to the morning, a chilly one, but a great day is expected today. But let's take a look at what we saw last night. These are northern lights taken from a lot of locations. This was here in Smith Hill and Deerfield. The greens were able to be visible, as well as some reds. Take a look at that right there. Gorgeous photos from all across central New York. And on top of that, if we take a look at our some more photos here, this was taken in Constableville with a long exposure. Now, this is what you could see with a camera, with a long exposure time of around 10 or so seconds, maybe even longer, depending on the camera. But what you see in person with your naked eye is slightly different. This is what you really see with a short exposure. Some faint greens, but last night it was so strong you could see a faint pink. You'll see clear skies and then a slight pinkish or green hue. That is with the northern lights. So you don't usually see them picturesque like you do in those photos, but they were visible and they were beautiful all across the region. Back to our local area with temperatures. We are starting out in the 30s for some spots. Freezing temperature in Hamilton, still in the 40s in Rome. That cloud covers remain rather stubborn, preventing that widespread frost. Downtown Utica, it's quiet. Same thing on the radar. Frost advisories are still in effect this morning. If you do see clear skies, the potential is there. But the next 12 hours, we climb from the 30s as high as the upper 50s to low 60s. So a great Friday afternoon is expected. Will this continue throughout the weekend? All the latest weekend forecast straight ahead. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Continuing coverage now of an animal cruelty case.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Welcome back to Sunrise. The time now is sitting at 6:12, and we're taking a look at the road conditions heading out the door this morning on the Munson CommuteCast. And first off, take a live look up in the North Country, Old Forge, 33 degrees. Our Skywatcher, Sean, and inlet reports 29 degrees. So it's a frosty start for the North Country in some spots early today. Heading down into the Mohawk Valley, especially in the Utica area, temperature 39 degrees. So no frost at this point in the lowest elevations. Those clouds have prevented most of that from forming. So most of you don't really have to scrape any frost off your windshield. And the lowest elevations might have to as you head into higher elevations south as well. 35 in Cooperstown. Likely some of the hilltops have fallen below freezing. And lastly, down in Oneonta, sitting at 39 degrees. So it's a chilly start today and a dry one, though. Traffic Tracker reporting quiet conditions across the board. And we'll still see quiet conditions throughout most of the day today. Temperatures going from the 30s and 40s this morning up into the 60s by this afternoon with plenty of sunshine. Gary?
Thanks. Ethel Kennedy, the widow of Robert F. Kennedy, has...
Others spoil your day. Tune in for the Storm Tracker 2 CommuteCast, brought to you by Munson. Visit Munson today and ignite curiosity and creativity. Visiting Munson and the Storm Tracker 2 CommuteCast, both free and both Utica's very own. Remember, all roads lead to Munson.
This portion of News Channel 2 is brought to you by PJ Green.
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good Friday morning, everyone. The day today starting out on the cool side, temperatures in the 30s, some locations waking up to frost. In Oneonta right now, not quite so frosty, temperature sitting at 39 degrees, but other locations in the higher elevations have fallen below freezing. Downtown Utica warming up a couple of degrees, now sitting at 41 with cloudy skies. Now this here is the reason why we're not seeing frost in downtown Utica right now. Those clouds have remained stubborn enough to keep those temperatures near the surface from cooling too quickly due to radiative cooling. So for now, again, no frost is expected early this morning in the lowest of elevations, but as you head up high in the hilltops, that's still possible. The radar, though, is showing dry weather this morning, and we're expecting dry weather for the entire day today. The next dozen hours favor sunshine arriving and temperatures climbing into the upper 60s or upper 50s to low 60s with completely dry weather. As we head into tonight as well, those of you who have plans to go and see some Friday night football, Friday Night Lights, temperatures in the 50s this evening. And mostly clear skies. So it's dry, but definitely recommend grabbing a jacket or flannel to head out to the game tonight. Our forecast for the weekend, favoring afternoon sunshine on Saturday, temperatures in the low 60s, the nicer of the two weekend days for outdoor activities. Sunday looks to be a day you might want to spend inside. Maybe watching some football, making some chili. I think it's entering chili season. I've been waiting patiently for that to take place. But it's a cool one, a rainy one. Saturday, the sunnier and nicer of the 2 days. Skycast showing a few stubborn clouds early this morning. Those clouds whisk away and sunshine moves in by the afternoon. And we'll see warmer temperatures in the upper 50s, low 60s. A decent westerly wind followed by a cold front tonight, which will bring clouds and maybe a light sprinkle. It's weak, not expected to produce anything too much in terms of rain showers, if any. But it'll create that northerly to northwesterly wind. It will make temperatures a little cooler tomorrow, but highs still in the upper 50s, low 60s. That sunshine will be very pleasant, especially with that cooler weather. As we head into the overnight hours, we'll see some rain showers arriving, then a lull in the rain by the early morning before more rain showers arrive, scattered across the area by Sunday evening. So it's a cooler one, it's a rainier one for Sunday. And then this cool stretch does continue. Following into Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, those highs for the days will be only in the low 50s, upper 40s, in overnight lows in the 30s. Gary?
Let's enjoy today.
Yes, great weather today.
That's for sure. Well, yesterday was World Mental Health
24.
Now, the news with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for this half hour. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And usually when we show that picture of the parking lot, there's snow.
Snow, yeah, and very difficult to see things with that snow layer. But yeah, it's a little foggy up here, but the rest of the area, rather quiet. Yeah. Also want to just mention, too, yes, we didn't We did not plan this at all. This
No, just in time for the Knicks season to unfold, right?
Or the Mets.
I'm a Yankees fan.
You're a Yankee fan.
But hopefully a Subway Series, right?
I'm a Red Sox fan, so I think any team other than the Yankees I'd like to see advance, but just kidding. Out the door this morning, before we get to the forecast, let's show some of the photos from last night. A vibrant display of the Northern Lights taken across central New York. And it wasn't just a feint you need a camera to use. You could actually see this with your naked eye. You could see the pinks. It was bright out. But I want to clarify, this is what it looks like to a camera. What does it look like to the naked eye? If you have not seen it before, well, it looks more like this. Very faint, slight green hue, a slight pink hue. It's dark, but it's visible. You'll see the backdrop of the night sky in a slight pink or green hue. That's the Northern Lights that you can see with your naked eye. But again, cameras are a lot more fancy in the fact they can take longer exposure and can really absorb all those vibrant colors. But this morning, it's a cool start to the day today, near or below freezing in some spots, but the Mohawk Valley is still remaining above freezing at this point. Downtown Utica, we're seeing clouds gradually clear out, temperatures climbing quickly, although there is still a frost advisory in effect right now. That frost advisory will remain in effect as still some locations could see those temperatures fall near freezing. But following this morning, we climb up into the upper 50s to low 60s with plenty of sunshine. A great afternoon, a great end of the work week is expected. How long will this last into the weekend? We'll have the answer in that full forecast straight ahead. Gary?
Eric, thanks. As Floridians grapple with the cleanup and rebuilding from Milton, aid from across the country, including the federal government, is moving in. Meanwhile, the presidential candidates are back on the campaign trail, each telling voters why they're the best to lead in crisis. NBC's Alice Barr is in Washington this morning with more.
As the devastation left by Hurricane Milton sinks in.
To obtain what you have, and then for it to just be gone in minutes, because that's all it took.
And emergency water rescues wind down.
It just started rising from ankle to knee to waist. I had 4 children there.
The long road to recovery is ramping up. Thousands of federal workers joining state and local officials.
Every available resource is being deployed as fast as possible to impacted communities, and we will not leave until the work is done.
The political fallout also growing as the nominees get back out on the campaign trail. Former President Trump in Michigan continuing to slam the Biden administration's response to the last wave of destruction from Hurricane Helene.
The federal government, on the other hand, has not done what you're supposed to be doing.
Vice President Harris pushing back.
I have spoken with state, local officials, both Republican and Democrat, to let them know we will be with you every step of the way as you recover and rebuild.
She spoke at a rally in Arizona where early voting is just beginning. As former President Obama began a battleground blitz for Harris in Pennsylvania, calling out misinformation about the federal storm response, elevated by former President Trump and allies. The candidates fighting to show they are the right leader in a moment of crisis as Election Day closes in. President Biden responded to mounting concerns about FEMA staffing levels, insisting the Federal Emergency Management Agency has enough resources and money for now, but pleading with Congress to act urgently to set aside more funding for small business disaster loans. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
A public meeting was held at
Is brought to you by Holland Farms Bakery and Deli.
Welcome back to Sunrise. Our final photo of the day today takes us to the town of Waterville, especially a great shot of the foggy sunrise out in the distance taken by Kevin. And an amazing photo right here with the farm silos in the foreground, the tree line in the background, and along with that fog, the beautiful reds and faint purples and yellows of this sunrise out in the distance. Amazing photo right here. If you would like to submit a photo like sunrise right here, the Northern Lights, anything that pertains to our local area regarding weather, maybe your dog out enjoying a nice walk as well, seeing some local deer, send it to the link right there on top of your screen, wktv.com/weather/pics. We have a bunch of other Northern Lights photos on that link right there if you want to see more of them. They are, of course, shared across the board. Well over 20, as far as I can count, were submitted last night on that link. But again, today it's a cool start. We'll climb into the 60s by this afternoon, but will that continue into the weekend? We'll look at that forecast straight ahead. Gary?
Eric, thanks. The Capstone Project for a group of SUNY Poly students.
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning. Happy Friday, everyone. We are starting out the day today with a few clouds rolling through our area, but sunshine will move in as we head into this afternoon. Let's take a live look at Oneonta right now. A few passing clouds. These were stubborn for parts of the region overnight last night, preventing some locations from seeing frost. It's 39 in Oneonta. In the Mohawk Valley, sitting at 41 degrees with cloudy skies at Griffith and Rome, but on the backdrop of downtown Utica, we're seeing blue skies for that early morning twilight. Radar at this point is completely dry. We're expecting dry conditions throughout the entire day today. A matter of fact, the next dozen or so hours call for, again, more sunshine, highs, upper 50s, low 60s. So a great end of the work week this week and potentially into the start of the weekend for Saturday. But before that, if you're heading to any football tonight for some high school games, temperatures are remaining in the low 50s with clear or mostly clear skies. So if you're heading out, maybe grab that light jacket or sweater. It's going to be a cool one, but again, no umbrella is needed. Regarding the weekend forecast, if you have any outdoor plans, Saturday looks to be your best bet. Afternoon sunshine, temperatures in the low 60s, upper 50s. By Sunday, that looks to be the indoor day with cloudy skies, scattered showers, and temperatures in the 50s. And to our Skycast, this morning, those stubborn clouds will burn off and sunshine moves in by this afternoon with temperatures climbing as high as the upper 50s, low 60s. By tonight, lows will fall down into the 50s with a few clouds increasing from an approaching cold front. This will likely only produce just clouds, maybe a light sprinkle if that. Then Saturday looking rather pleasant, upper 50s, low 60s, plenty of sunshine across the board. Just overall great outdoor weather because as we head into Sunday, somewhat of the opposite. Rain arrives initially during the early morning hours, and then we'll see a lull in the rain between 6 a.m. roughly, then heading into early afternoon before more rain showers scattered will arrive throughout the remainder of the daytime, and temperatures still remaining in the upper 40s to low 50s. And so, your 7-day forecast. It's a warmer one Saturday, a cooler one Sunday, and that cooling trend will continue as we head into Monday and Tuesday of next week. High of only 48 degrees both days. Following that, we'll see 50s for Wednesday and Thursday and a gradual drying trend, but for now, we're looking at a nice, cool stretch of weather. Gary?
Thank you. The time right now is 6:53. Still ahead on Sunrise. Recovery continue today down in Florida. At least 16 people now have been killed across the state, with rescuers still searching hard-hit areas for any that are still missing. NBC's Jay Gray joins us now from Fort Myers with the latest. Jay?
Hey there. I want to give you an idea of what's going on right now here in downtown Fort Myers. You may hear it behind me. We've seen cleanup crews on the ground here trying to get rid of some of the debris and clean things up here. What you also notice when you're down here is power. You see the lights back on, and that's something that was restored overnight. Unfortunately, across the state right now, 2.5 million or so still without power, and in some of the hardest hit areas, it may be a week or even more before they get that power back. They got to move the debris, clear the area, and then get to work on restoring that power. It's a storm that came in, Milton, as a Category 3, a major hurricane, left as a Category 1, so it maintained hurricane strength across the entirety of the state, and really all of the peninsula has been touched in some way by this storm. It was expanding its footprint. The wind field was getting bigger as it made landfall. Then you had all those tornadoes before landfall and even after landfall. And so that's been an issue and caused even more damage in some areas. And so that's what these teams are working through right now. You also had 80,000 evacuees in shelters in Florida. You had thousands and thousands more who either went to hotels or the homes of families and friends outside of the strike zone. In the hardest hit areas, what officials are saying is wait a day or so if you're in a place you feel safe and can do that. They don't want people to get in a position where they're trying to get things done in areas where it still may be unsafe. And obviously they want to try and get as much power back on before people get back as they can. I think it's going to be tough, though, because you've got a lot of people who have been working for years. I mean, this second major hurricane in 13 days and the sixth in 7 years. So they've been working for years to recover here, and they're going to want to get back. So I think what we'll see today as business owners return here and try and get things rolling again, a lot of these homeowners, a lot of the residents here coming back as well. That's the very latest right now here on the ground. I'm Jay Gray, NBC News, Fort Myers.
Jay, thanks. Meteorologist Eric Gage joining us. And Eric, we've been mentioning it all week long, how lucky we are here in the Mohawk Valley not to have to deal with hurricanes every year like they do down there.
Yes, and again, as Jay mentioned, 2 hurricanes in the span of a few weeks. And I want to mention, too, that I'm still in contact. My brother, who's down in the Tampa area, still without power, nearly 40 hours now, but still safe and sound. His community got together and had a giant cookout.
Oh, neat.
Which I think was really interesting, you know, get the community coming together in times like this.
Send us some pictures, right?
Yes, hopefully, yeah, we got some great video. Maybe I can share it, too, of the strong winds from his house. But yeah, outdoors this afternoon, not too bad of a day today. At least a lot nicer than yesterday, that's for sure. More sunshine moving in and temperatures in the 50s. So we actually have already gotten warmer in this afternoon than we did yesterday afternoon. With dry conditions on the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. Now, the next 12 hours call for temperatures climbing as high as the low 60s. We'll cool down into the 50s overnight with increasing clouds and potential for a light sprinkle heading into early Saturday. But Saturday's looking nice. Will that continue through Sunday? We'll have the details on that straight ahead. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Well, you might have heard a roar in the
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon, Central New York. After some locations woke up to a light frost, other spots warm enough to where frost didn't take place. The morning clouds have given way to some afternoon sunshine. A beautiful shot right here in Oneonta. It's 50 degrees, so it is already warmer today than it was all throughout yesterday. 53 at Griffiths and Rome. Refreshing humidity levels, and usually as we enter mid to late October, we will probably not see extremely high humidity moving forward as those daytime hours will struggle to reach as high as 70 degrees maximum for most of these days. The radar itself is looking relatively quiet, in fact entirely quiet all throughout central New York and upstate New York in general. And if you have any plans to head to Friday night football under the lights, temperatures in the 50s from 7 to 9 p.m. with mostly clear skies, or if you plan on heading to the Comets game, the season opener tonight, you've got quiet conditions, no rain expected. You don't need to bring a rain jacket or an umbrella to and from the game later today. Regarding that weekend forecast, we got a tale of 2 different days. Saturday, the better of the 2 weekend days for any outdoor plans. Afternoon sunshine, high temperatures in the low 60s. Sunday looks to be more of the indoor day with cloudy skies, scattered showers, and temperatures in the low 50s. So a cooler one for the second half of the weekend. I would say great weather to sit inside and watch some of the NFL games taking place throughout the day. Bigger picture, high pressure keeping things quiet through today. A cold front moves through tonight that could bring in a few clouds and a light sprinkle, but then sunshine moves back in for Saturday. But as we head into Sunday, as you can see here, we're seeing some rain showers roll through the area. And so on our skycast, those morning clouds have since burnt off, at least for the most part. Still a few puffy cumulus clouds here and there. Temperatures climbing as high as the upper 50s, low 60s. Then by tonight, we'll see conditions turn more cloudy with potentially a light sprinkle. Then a slight northwesterly wind for your Saturday. Sunshine and temperatures in the upper 50s to low 60s. Following that, we'll see clouds increase and some scattered showers arrive throughout the day for Sunday. And so your 7-day forecast following Sunday, that cool stretch continues. 40s and 50s for much of the start of next week. Rain chances gradually diminishing by Wednesday and Thursday. But besides that, I mean, we'll talk about today and tomorrow. We got nice weather for the daytime hours.
Today looks gorgeous.
Great weather today, great weather tomorrow for any last-minute outdoor activities.
Yeah, get them in. Eric, thanks. Well, one person has died and nearly a dozen others trapped. Welcome back. Communities across Florida are struggling to recover from the powerful 1-2 hurricane punch from Helene to Milton. At least 12 people have died as a result of the latest storm, and millions of homes and businesses remain without power. NBC's Stephanie Gosk is in Tampa this noon with more.
This morning, the tragic aftermath of Milton coming into focus. The powerful hurricane leaving devastation statewide. In hard-hit Manasota Key, homes ripped off their foundations, while in Daytona Beach, whole communities swallowed by flooding. In Sarasota, washed up boats and debris littering the streets.
The storm was significant, but thankfully this was not the worst-case scenario.
Still, all across Florida, before and after pictures telling the story. This morning, millions without power remain in the dark. At least 9 cities experiencing record rainfall. First responders helping hundreds during the hurricane. More than 500 people rescued from this flooded apartment complex in Clearwater. A 14-year-old boy floating on debris in Hillsborough County, saved. And the Coast Guard rescuing a man miles offshore, clinging to a cooler. In Tampa, some neighborhoods still inundated with water.
Are you surprised to see this amount of water in this neighborhood?
Yes, at this level. It floods every year, but never this high.
Rescuers going door to door, finding this woman in her 90s who struggles to see in a flooded home all alone.
She was scared and didn't want to leave, and they finally just convinced her to get on the boat and get out of harm's way.
Many residents in Milton's path prepared for the hurricane, but were overwhelmed by a string of tornadoes it spawned.
Walked outside and annihilated. The neighborhood annihilated.
According to initial reports, at least 38 tornadoes touched down. From above Port St. Lucie, you can see homes and everything in them shredded. There were 6 fatalities alone from a tornado that struck Fort Pierce. But as Floridians pick up the pieces, despite being traumatized by hurricane after hurricane, many residents say they're committed to rebuilding.
I think we all give each other the strength to continue.
And that was NBC's Stephanie Gosk reporting. Meanwhile, the New York State Attorney General's office wants you to be cautious when donating to hurricane relief efforts. They say if you were solicited by email, don't just give, find out who is behind the email. Same goes for fundraising sites. Check before you donate. Also be careful about giving out personal information and ask how your donation will be used. And if you believe an organization is misrepresenting its work, well, you can file a complaint with the New York State Charities Bureau by calling that number right there, 212-416-8401. And meteorologist Eric Gaze joins us now, and I know the folks down in Florida devastated by all the damage. We here actually were treated to something last night.
Yes, treated to a different type of storm, and this one, a solar storm, is able to bring in some northern lights to our area. Here's a look at how some of these shaped up over our area, and this is one taken in Constableville of the bright, vibrant greens and reds. Now, you might think you could see this with the naked eye. Realistically, you don't see this with your eyes. You see something closer to this, which is difficult to see unless you have a brighter TV screen, in case it's all black for those of you who have a darker screen. You can see a faint green glow. That's usually what you see when the northern lights take place. As a matter of fact, on top of this darker green glow right here, you can actually sometimes pick out some reds. Now, in normal circumstances, when you have a storm as strong as this one, it's actually bright enough to where even you can see the faint glow of the reds in the backdrop of the starry sky. So it's something that's very breathtaking. You have a camera with longer exposure, you're able to take those more vibrant northern light photos. But currently right now, downtown Utica, it's sunny, Few puffy cumulus clouds here and there with temperatures in the 50s. Already warmer today than it was all day yesterday. So a bit of a nice warming trend for now and potentially into Saturday. Radar is dry in the next 12 hours, bring more sunshine, followed by increasing clouds tonight. A cold front rolls through. Will it bring rain or will it just bring more dry weather? We'll talk about that coming up in that full forecast. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Brand new this noon, according to Lebanon's health ministry,
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon, everyone. We are continuing to track sunshine moving into our area after a somewhat chilly start. Some locations woke up to some frost this morning, especially in the highest of elevations. Cloud cover kept the lowest elevations from seeing that initial frost, so there still could be a frost advisory issued in the near future for some parts of Oneida, maybe even Otsego counties. But the Weather Service in Albany, who controls the county of Herkimer, will not be issuing any more frost advisories for this year. Live look at Oneonta right now. A lot more blue skies popping out. Temperatures sitting at 52 in the city. In Griffiths and Rome, 54 degrees, slightly warmer in the lower elevations, and some welcome sunshine to wrap up the work week, as well as dry weather on the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. If you were heading to check out some of the football games for Friday Night Lights tonight, temperatures will fall down into the low 50s with dry conditions, mostly clear skies. And you grab that light jacket, but no umbrella needed. Same thing if you're planning on heading to the opening day or opening night for the Utica Comets. Temperatures, yes, Utica. Temperatures will be remaining in the 50s with, again, dry conditions across the board. Throughout the weekend, we got a tale of two different days. Saturday, sunshine, temperatures in the low 60s. As we head into Sunday, it's more of an indoor day. Cloudy and rainy, temperatures in the 50s. Definitely one of those good days to sit inside, maybe make some chili or any type of fall food and enjoy some Sunday football. Bigger picture, high pressure is moving in, keeping things sunny. A cold front moves through tonight. This is not working with a whole lot of moisture, so we're not expecting anything in terms of significant rainfall, but maybe a light sprinkle, if that. Regardless, as we head into Sunday, more of an unsettled pattern begins to move in. And so in our Skycast this afternoon, sunshine, temperatures upper 50s, low 60s. Overall, a great end to the work week. By tonight, we'll see a few clouds begin to roll in after midnight and a potentially cloudy start to your Saturday with an isolated sprinkle, if that. The sunshine moves back in by the afternoon and highs climb only into the upper 50s with that decent northwesterly wind. Following that, we'll see clouds increase once more. Then here comes some scattered showers for your Sunday as low pressure begins to move in. Overall, pretty unsettled from sunrise to sunset with barely a break in the clouds. And so your 7-day forecast, 60s to 50s over the weekend, and that cool trend continues through Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. Potentially a slight warm-up by Thursday and Friday with drying conditions, but overall, a cool stretch as we head through the middle of October. Gary?
Eric, thanks. We are back with News Talk this noon.
Wow, did we have some amazing weather. Most people got a chance to see Northern Lights in this area.
Yes, it was exciting. It was an exciting night last night, wasn't it?
Yeah. We were more worried about that than some of the newscasts, but that's okay.
We got the job done.
We did. We got to see some cool stuff. But what do we got for tonight if you're going out?
So tonight the weather looks good. I know I've been getting dozens of questions about are the lights going to be visible again tonight?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't think that's going to be the case. I can't completely rule it out because you can always see some hiccups after a big solar storm, but it doesn't really look like that's going to be the case. High school football, the weather looks great this evening. It is going to be a really nice one with mostly clear skies, comfortable conditions. Temperatures will be in the 50s. Our weather will likely start out dry and sunny as we head into Saturday. It looks like a nice start to the weekend, but it won't stay like that. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Pretty quiet weather, 61 degrees. How about that for a mid-October day, nice and warm. Again, it's going to be pretty similar to tomorrow, a nice start to the weekend. Rain returns Sunday, and it is looking chilly as we look ahead in a much more unsettled weather pattern. Mostly sunny this evening, temperatures in the 50s. And we're taking a look at that weekend forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. After a long...
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. Happy Friday. It is looking very nice heading into the weekend weather-wise. Let's take a live look at downtown Utica. A temperature of 61 degrees. We do have clear skies in place. And a little bit of haze that you see in the sky is due to some very light wildfire smoke approaching from the west. That's not going to be sticking around for very long. A lot of folks seeing the northern lights, many folks for the first time. This picture is great. This was from Sylvan Beach, taken by Alan and Justine Bartnick. We had a lot of first-time viewers. Not sure if they saw this for the first time, but they were very happy. And it definitely was great to see that happen. As far as tonight goes, there are very marginal conditions for the northern lights. So I don't want to completely rule it out, but I'm not as optimistic that we're going to see something like this. You never know. The northern lights, trying to predict these is a new science, and there's always things that can happen. And if we do get anything, we will let you know. One thing we're going to be watching in the night sky, and this is going to be happening right after sunset, there's a new comet that's going to be visible in the night sky. From now until the end of the month, they're going to look west right after sunset. There's some question marks as to how easy it's going to be to see. A lot of the information I'm reading says yes, that we'll be able to see this with our visible with our naked eye, but I would still recommend using a pair of binoculars just in case some of those rumors are not right. This is expected to be brighter than the comet Neowise that we saw back in 2020. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. It's looking quiet across the region. We start out with nice weather over the weekend. Saturday, sunshine, temperatures in the low 60s. Sunday, it is going to be cloudy and wet. Good day to be indoors. Temperatures only in the upper 40s. So Saturday, hands down, looks to be the nicer of the two weekend days to be outdoors. Dodgeville 61 degrees, Little Falls 63, Westernville 64 across Southern Valleys, Cooperstown 61, Oneonta 59, and Norwich checking in with 63. The bigger picture shows the wind direction changing, pushing in some warmer air. We're watching a very weak cold front that's going to drop in from the north as we head into tonight, and that could give us a few extra clouds. Overnight lows will drop down into the upper 40s. It won't be as chilly as last night. Tomorrow, we're looking at mostly sunny skies, beautiful weather, high temperatures near 60 degrees. The next weather system approaches Saturday night. It brings clouds and showers as we head into Sunday, and much cooler weather with high temperatures only in the mid to upper 40s. Forecast for tonight, partly cloudy skies, a low of 47, mostly sunny skies tomorrow, temperatures in the low 60s. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast, it looks much cooler as we head into the week. Monday's high 48. And yes, you don't need to adjust your television screen. That is snow showers mixing in with rain showers. Yikes. On Tuesday and Wednesday. Mostly a higher elevation thing. Yeah,
okay.
Not a big deal.
It's not going to stick because look,
Right.
it's 60 by next Friday.
Yeah, this is all going to melt. But you got to start thinking ahead.
Plan ahead.
Yes.
Thanks, Bill. Well, what started out as a simple request to ride a bike to school has grown to a multi-town group. First look at the forecast in this half hour with Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis. Temperature trend time.
Yeah, pretty significant drop in the temperature. It's going to be relatively warm tomorrow, but then it's chilly beginning Sunday and lasting into most of next week with temperatures only in the 40s. With that in mind, it's time to start thinking about switching the settings on your ceiling fan. Did you know that there's a switch on your fan? If you change the direction, it actually it makes the house more heating efficient. In the summertime, you want the air to be moving down from the ceiling fan. It creates that wind chill cooling effect. But in the wintertime, you want the fan to bring the air upward to help distribute the heat that's up on the ceiling. So again, there's a little switch that you can do. And now's the time to start thinking about that as we get into the cooler season. Heading out, if you're taking the dog out for a walk this evening, temperatures will be in the 50s. Winston and Penelope, tonight's featured dogs. This is brought to you by Nye Automotive Group. Jason, back to you.
Thank you. This year brought big change to how the town of New Hartford does business.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. A lovely start to the weekend. We're taking a live look in Oneonta. You may notice some haze in the sky this evening. This is from wildfire smoke moving in from the west. It's not going to be sticking around, and it's not making its way to the surface, but it could lead to a really nice sunset, which will be taking place about half an hour from now. And then again, that smoke is expected to move to the south. Great colors showing up across central New York. We are getting closer to peak across the Mohawk Valley, but we're not quite there yet. Colors are rapidly changing, and with this weather forecast, I think we're going to see this process accelerate. The Adirondacks are now considered past peak. It was pretty nice up there over the past weekend, but now there's more leaves falling off the trees. We're going to continue to see those colors transition as we head into the next couple of days. Take a look at this time lapse. This is from Nick Phelps in Deerfield from the Northern Lights last night. There are all kinds of colors that showed up. Greens, reds, pinks, even purple showed up for a brief time. We're not expecting the solar storm to be quite as intense tonight. There's some very marginal activity, which means we will not see the show quite like last night. But it is still possible that given the right timing, if you catch this just right and if you have the right camera equipment, you might be able to see some color by looking to the north. Don't think you're going to be able to see it with the naked eye like we did last night. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Again, it's pretty quiet across the region. Our Skywatchers checking in. It's been a nice afternoon. Whitesboro 59 degrees, Bob and Clinton 61, Lyman and Eaton 61 degrees, Jeff and Mohawk 59, Stewart and Cooperstown with 59 degrees. We've got a weak cold front dropping in from the north. This will give us a few extra clouds tonight. So it won't be quite as chilly tonight with partly cloudy skies. Overnight lows drop down into the upper 40s. Saturday looks nice. Partly sunny skies, temperatures near 60 degrees. On Sunday, an area of low pressure approaches, so it turns cloudy Saturday night. Some light showers start to approach. Much chillier Sunday compared to Saturday with rain developing. A good indoor day with highs in the mid-40s. Partly cloudy tonight, low 47. Tomorrow, we're looking at mostly sunny skies, 61 for the high. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Rain Sunday, 48. It's chilly next week. Temperatures in the 40s, even some snow showers mixing in with the rain, primarily in higher elevations Tuesday and Wednesday. We'll be right back.
Time for a first look at the forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis. Football weather tonight, right?
Yeah, the weather looks great for high school football. We're looking at clear skies, comfortable conditions, temperatures in the 50s. We will not be as cool tonight as we were last night. A lot of places started out in the 30s. A live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Things look pretty quiet. 60 degrees at Griffiths and Rome. Very comfortable, a very warm day. Enjoy it. We've got more of this in store for tomorrow, but the weather does change. Rain returns Sunday, and it's looking much chillier as we head into next week with many days in the 40s. This evening, temperatures in the 50s, partly to mostly sunny skies. We're taking a look at that weekend forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. The change took effect in late spring, but some new...
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We've got a nice start to the weekend expected with temperatures in the 60s with sunshine again Saturday. A live look outside. This is downtown Utica, a temperature of 57 degrees. Be on the lookout for a comet after sunset this evening. It's going to be pretty low in the western horizon, but it should get higher over the next couple of days. Not exactly a catchy name here, as Comet C2023A3. Again, you'll notice this in the western sky about 45 minutes after sunset. You've got to have a really good vantage point tonight, but it will start to rise in the western sky each evening as we head throughout the month of October. Weekend forecast, afternoon sunshine tomorrow, 61 degrees, clouds, rain on Sunday with a temperature of 48. Fall colors are coming out. Many areas are much more colorful this weekend than last weekend, the exception being the Adirondacks, now considered past peak. Lots of folks enjoying the Northern Lights last night. This is Alan and Justine Burtnick from Sylvan Beach. I'm going to step aside here. That's a breathtaking photo. We have so many of them, and we're so happy to see so many people out enjoying this. A lot of first-timers here. If we do get any additional opportunities in the future, we're in a very active solar cycle, so I think there will be more in the future. Tonight, not a great night to do this. I know there's been a lot of buzz on social media here, but I'm just not seeing the same setup as last night. Can't completely rule it out, but the solar activity is much less than last night. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Things look pretty quiet. Skywatchers, a nice day. Bob and Clinton 61, Mike and New Hartford 59, Fairfield, Sandy 57, and Skanevis checking in with 64. We have a weak cold front dropping in from the north tonight. That's going to bring us a few extra clouds, and it's also going to keep temperatures from falling. We're looking at overnight lows tonight in the upper 40s. Tomorrow, sunshine, a beautiful day. Temperatures climb into the low 60s after a few clouds in the morning. Widespread clouds return Saturday night, along with some rain. It is looking much cooler Sunday. Clouds, showers, high temperatures only in the mid to upper 40s. Partly cloudy tonight, low 47. Tomorrow, a beautiful day, sunshine, high of 61. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Sunday, steady rain, 48. It's chilly next week and breezy, and yes, some snow showers in the air, mainly in the higher elevations Monday and Tuesday. No accumulation expected, but again, we're putting the warning out now. Don't be alarmed.
Might have to dig around in the closet, find that little bit warmer jacket for a couple days.
It's a good idea.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Bill. Still to come on News Channel 2 at 6. We're going to head back down to the Adirondack. Let's look at the forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis. I can't get enough of these northern lights. And
yeah,
is this from last night or today?
This is totally last night.
Okay, because we haven't seen anything tonight.
No, we're not expecting the lights to come out today. But yeah, we're still kind of
like the
reminiscing.
whole sky.
Yeah, the whole sky. This is a great time lapse. It's probably my favorite video. Again, this was taken yesterday by Nick Phillips in Deerfield. We're not expecting the northern lights to be visible here tonight. The geomagnetic storm that caused this is in the process of falling apart. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. It's looking pretty quiet out there tonight. Some clouds are starting to work in from the north. It's currently clear at Griffiths and Rome. We're 46 degrees, and I think that's about as far as we fall. Clouds will be moving in tonight. Overnight lows will be in the upper 40s. It might even need the heat early tomorrow morning, but it's not going to be as chilly as it was earlier this morning. We're tracking a pretty nice weekend across central New York, at least a nice start to the weekend. We'll look at the forecasts coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. While some Floridians have started to clean up after Hurricane Milton's swollen rivers brought by historic rainfall, still a threat for others. Milton is responsible for at least 17 deaths, with search and rescue missions underway. Sherelle Hubbard has the latest on these rescue efforts.
New video has come flooding in, documenting search and rescue missions from Hurricane Milton. This rescue video of a 91-year-old woman from her house in Lithia, Florida, near Tampa, where the Alafaya River crossed flood stage Thursday and over 24 feet Friday. Rescue officials carried the woman to safety in a rescue boat in front of the house. In Tampa, rescuers helped evacuate a flooded assisted living facility.
What we saw was pretty devastating. A lot of homes almost rolled into the water. I've never seen it before. I've lived on the water for 30 years.
Milton made landfall as a Category 3 storm, bringing tornadoes, torrential rain, and storm surge. Body cam footage shows deputies wading through deep water, guiding multiple people nearby to safety as they hold on to a rope. In Valrico, Hillsborough County deputies were still evacuating people from flooded homes Friday.
We're at 6 feet deep. We have some people who believe that it might get as high as 20 feet.
Officials warning that floodwaters in some areas have not receded yet, and some officials cautioning residents not to make a bad situation worse.
It's just unprecedented damage, and it's most important to be careful with that. Stay out of the floodwater. You don't know what's in there.
I'm Sherelle Hubbard reporting.
Just this week, Central New York helping out. These are pictures from the Susquehanna SPCA. They welcomed dogs who were cleared from shelters in East Tennessee, so dogs impacted by the hurricane there have a place to go and then can be reunited with their family. Those dogs brought in are already up for adoption. The SPCA is asking you to consider adopting or fostering them. How cute. The heliport at the Wynn Hospital had its first.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We're taking a look at the weekend forecast. Sunshine tomorrow, a beautiful start to the weekend. 61 for the high, pretty similar to today. Sunday, the rain returns along with the chilly weather. 48 for the high, cloudy skies. The weather, if you're looking to get out and enjoy, looks much better for Saturday if you want to do some outdoor activities like leaf peeping. We're looking at near peak color across many areas in central New York this weekend. The Adirondacks will be considered past peak, which means the leaves are falling off the trees, where there's more of them falling off and the color is not as vibrant. We will continue to see some pretty good color here for about the next week to week and a half. There's a comet visible in the evening sky. Look to the west. Shortly after sunset, when the sky gets dark enough, this will be in the night sky for about an hour after sunset for the next couple of weeks throughout the month of October. I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard you would be able to see it with the naked eye. However, I still recommend using a pair of binoculars. Again, look to the west after sunset to see if you can capture it. Northern lights tonight, a no-go. There's some geomagnetic activity, but it's very low, and it is not going to produce what we saw last night across the region. Live look at the Airfield Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Pretty quiet conditions across the region. We are tracking a cold front dropping in from the north. Very weak front here, bringing us a few clouds as we head into tonight, as well as maybe a very brief sprinkle. The stage is set for a nice Saturday. This front moves through pretty quickly. Temperatures Saturday morning start out in the low 50s. Mostly sunny skies throughout Saturday afternoon. Saturday night, clouds begin to increase with the next weather system approaching from the west. This does produce a few late rain showers here Saturday night. Sunday, though, looks pretty wet, and it looks chilly with high temperatures only in the 40s. Partly cloudy tonight, low of 47. Tomorrow, looking at mostly sunny skies, 61 for the high. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. It looks chilly as we head throughout the week. Temperatures only in the upper 40s on Sunday and Monday. And if you're wondering, what is that icon for Tuesday and Wednesday? What's that falling out of the sky? I don't remember what that is.
Is it grapple?
It's a little more than grapple. It's
I was hoping it was.
Some snow showers, which is unfortunate because it always feels too early. But it's actually not. To see some snow showers in the higher elevations Tuesday and Wednesday.
Anytime pretty much after now, you can see that.
Yeah, and that doesn't mean we're having an early winter. It's
Nope.
just
Doesn't mean it's going to be a bad winter.
Yeah.
That is all yet to be determined.
That's right.
All right, thank you, Bill. Coming up next, Election Day with the forecast tonight with Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis. So, no northern lights tonight.
No.
Just a little bit north, but
yes.
Boy, there's so many great pictures on our website and on your Facebook page tonight.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun last night. I know a lot of people want to see them again. There will be more opportunities in the future. Tonight, I just don't think you're going to have any chances here, any luck. Even though we do have we're on the tail end of a solar storm, it's just not going to be enough to do it. But again, in the future, when we do have more opportunities, we'll let you know about it, just like we did last night. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. A few showers approaching from the north. Could see a very brief sprinkle this evening. Our current temperature 45 degrees, mostly clear at Griffiths and Rome. It's about as cool as we get tonight as this cold front moves in. Temperatures will pretty much stay the same. Looking at temperatures in the mid-40s tonight. Nice start to the weekend. Look at the forecasts coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. While some Floridians have started to clean up after Hurricane Milton, swollen rivers brought on by historic rainfall still a threat for others. Milton's responsible for at least 17 deaths, with search and rescue missions still underway. Sherelle Hubbard has the latest on the rescue efforts there.
New video has come flooding in, documenting search and rescue missions from Hurricane Milton. This rescue video of a 91-year-old woman from her house in Lithia, Florida, near Tampa, where the Alafaya River crossed flood stage Thursday and over 24 feet Friday. Rescue officials carried the woman to safety in a rescue boat in front of the house. In Tampa, rescuers helped evacuate a flooded assisted living facility.
What we saw was pretty devastating. A lot of homes kind of almost rolled into the water. I've never seen it before. I've lived on the water for 30 years.
Milton made landfall as a Category 3 storm, bringing tornadoes, torrential rain, and storm surge. Body cam footage shows deputies wading through deep water, guiding multiple people nearby to safety as they hold on to a rope. In Valrico, Hillsborough County deputies were still evacuating people from flooded homes Friday.
We're 6 feet deep. We have some people who believe that it might get as high as 20 feet.
Officials warning that floodwaters in some areas have not receded yet, and some officials cautioning residents not to make a bad situation worse.
It's just unprecedented damage, and it's most important to be careful with that. Stay out of the floodwater. You don't know what's in there.
I'm Sherelle Hubbard reporting.
Just this week, Central New York helping out. These are pictures from the Susquehanna SPCA. See, they welcome dogs who were cleared from shelters in East Tennessee so that dogs impacted by the hurricane there have a place to stay until they're reunited with their family. Those dogs that are brought in here are ready for adoption. The SPCA is asking that you consider adopting or fostering them. Well, the heliport at the Wynn Hospital.
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We're taking a live look at downtown Utica. Pretty quiet night across the region. It's going to be a beautiful start to the weekend. Sunshine Saturday, 61 degrees. Clouds, rain Sunday, 48. Saturday, definitely the better of the 2 weekend days to get out and look at the fall foliage. We're looking at near peak color for many areas. It is now considered past peak for the Adirondacks. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar tracking some showers to the north. This is a very weak cold front that's moving through. Not much of a change in our weather, although you might notice the winds pick up briefly tonight as this front rolls through. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. Overnight lows drop down into the mid-40s, which is pretty much where we're at now. Tomorrow, we start out the day with partly sunny skies. We'll see plenty of sunshine tomorrow. We're going to get a beautiful day. Temperatures in the low 60s. The weather turns unsettled tomorrow night. Clouds, showers return, and chilly weather Sunday as low pressure moves through. High temperatures only in the upper 40s. Tonight, partly cloudy, low temperature 47. Tomorrow, mostly sunny skies, 61 for the high. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. It's chilly as we head into early next week. Showers Monday 48, a mix of rain and snow showers Tuesday, Wednesday, especially the higher elevations. Temperatures in the 50s to near 60 by Thursday and Friday. Jason.
Bill, thank you. Bill and I are out of here, mister, because sports